explain some of these things that seem to be perplexing people or upsetting people?
Okay, we're almost to public comment. Okay, you done, Bob? I want to make sure you're done.
I'm done, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Other than what was already said, I'm not going to make any comments on what was just said, but I have two things to add. If somebody wants to make a public information request on something in its development, this is how we do it in Wellington. I know this is how most governments and businesses do it. You have to be transparent. So if somebody does make a public information request, such as they want, I'll just make up something, they want to know who did the pool, how much we paid them. It is the board or the management company's responsibility to give them that information. Now, certain things have to be redacted, such as, names and addresses and things like that. But it is someone, I think Kay has mentioned, should try to get that, and that needs to be dealt with. If you want to make a public information request, you're fully capable of doing that. Second thing is that I think a lot of people need to understand too that everything has a depreciation value. So such as the pool or the basketball courts or anything else in this development, it's not, just because it says, for example, the pool has a shelf life of 20 years before it needs to be fixed. If in 6 years something is broke on it, like Mike mentioned, I'm just using this as an example too, it's nothing. Then you speed that process up. Just because the shelf life is 20 years, we use this as an example, 7 years into that shelf life, things need to be addressed, and it's not budgeted for that year. Well, guess what? You can't put off safety issues for 6 months. So things are going to get done. So things that have been done in the past, such as the pool being done early, the mailboxes, things like that, they needed to be done, and that's why they were done. I just want to put that picture of that.
Okay, so now we're going to take comments from the audience. What we're going to do so we can maintain some level of organization here. Christine, do you have your phone? Do you have a stopwatch on your phone?
Okay.
Okay. At 2:45, we're going to give three minutes for each person to talk. At 2:45, Christine, can you raise your hand? And then I just need you to wrap it up. Okay? So, like prior meetings, we're going to go this way. Okay?
Can I make a quick word? Oh, you might want to start with our CPA on that side.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. I'm one too.
What's that?
I am one too.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me just, if that's okay with you, sir, I'm going to move this way. If you want to move seats, if you want to change seats, you can. Oh, there aren't any seats. Sorry. Okay. If you can state your name and your address.
390 Belgrade Lane. I just want to know what internal controls are you propose. I mean, I understand that you said it needs some, but what are the internal controls that you want in place that are going to stop a duplicate check that wasn't cash and other things? What kind of internal controls do you propose?
I had it all on my computer on the things as I was going, and I wasn't able to print it off. I would have a list out when they're ready to come out, but it's not something that I would do on my own. This would be something that I would bring from my committee, specifically the Treasurer's Committee or the Finance Committee, on the kind of issues that we find, and it would be the committee who would then be identifying all the different areas. I mean, I could lead on identifying, but it would be up to the committee to identify information.
So, but if you identify, what would you have identified? I mean,
Well, the things that would
what we're missing? I don't understand what controls are missing.
a double set, for example, how is it? I would make sure that a check request got signed off by the committee where it came from, and then before it left the office even get requested. So it would never get in there twice.
So this check, and this is
They're just examples.
this check was made twice, the actual
Yes.
check was printed twice.
Yes.
And then the other question I had was, I don't quite understand the mailbox thing. What happened? It got capitalized?
It was, the funds were not ordinary and necessary funds as they were moved out. And by not showing it on our financials, they totally averted being reported to us as homeowners that that expense was made.
So where was it shown? I mean, what, I
It
guess what I'm
wasn't
saying
shown,
is-
it was put in through the catastrophic fund.
Okay,
So unless you knew that what the balance,
Can you maybe explain where, like, was it put into capital, or you can't just expend funds and not hit the balance sheet or anything?
It is on the balance sheet. You wanna see the
So-
balance sheet? I have it right here.
We got capital.
No, it got taken out of the catastrophic fund. It should have actually been taken out of a different type of a fund.
But where did
You know,
it-
it's still a reserve fund.
All I'm asking is where did it hit the P&L? Did it hit expense, or did it get capitalized to the balance?
No, it got expense.
Okay, so then it did go through.
Yes, it got paid and it got expense, yes.
Okay.
under what month did it get spent?
It just wasn't properly coded.
Do you have any other questions, sir?
I just wanted to know what internal controls, because, I mean, you're saying you're bringing the expertise, but then you're proposing the things that are wrong, but you're not proposing any internal controls that you want in place. So that's where I don't understand is what internal controls do you want? You just can't keep saying words and not putting actual things in place.
I agree 100%. I've been here 3 weeks.
Yeah, but you've been looking at it for 9 months, you said.
No, I've been comparing, I've been meeting.
7 or 9 months.
So the question the question was, what are the internal controls that you're gonna ID?
Yes.
And she's answered it. Okay, so let's
So you have.
let's keep moving. William.
You know who I am, or do I have to say?
Just for the benefit of the room.
Lloyd Van Dingenen. One thing that I'd like to bring up, and I'm sure you said that you trust Jose Cabrera and you trust his decision. He actually voted for KS the night of the election, and he put his trust in KS to be the treasurer. I can tell you as somebody who helped him get proxies to be elected to the board.
Excuse me.
This is somebody who's helped him get proxies to be elected to the board. He actually expressed to myself and everyone else here that he didn't
He's
have
not here
the
to
time.
defend, you can't say
Yeah,
that, that's
he's-
hearsay.
Yeah, the thing is,
Okay, he didn't have the time to do certain things. So the thing that I would want to know is before anyone else is saying that they want to be the treasurer, they want to take over her spot, what type of commitment are they willing to do? Because we need to know that before you can even vote, because one, the person you're saying you want to replace her isn't here. So is he willing to make the commitment that she's willing to make? We don't know that because he's not here.
He said at the last meeting he would.
right, but
Yes.
for right now, Mr. Cabrera,
That's
rightfully so,
one
is not
question
here.
that is
Good
lingering
question.
in my mind is whoever's going to replace KS or is willing to replace KS, are they going to devote the same amount of time that she's going to devote? And that's the question that I think everyone should ask is whomever is doing this, the fact that they may be an accountant, but are they going to devote the time that she's willing to devote? And if the answer is no, then give it to the person who's willing to devote the time. That's the most important thing is the person going to devote the time? And we have to look into that before anything's done.
Thank you. And moving this way, I saw a hand in the back. Brian.
I'm on 8550 of Greenwood. My first question is, Jose, I don't know his credentials exactly. Does he have an accounting degree? I hear he's an accountant, but I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know the answer. I think that his resume was given out as part of the information packet for the annual meeting. Is that correct, Christine?
Yeah.
Okay, so his resume's out there. I don't know what it
It says
says,
he was an accountant.
but it is available.
He's got a CPA.
We can provide you the copy if you wanted to see it.
The second part of this is her motion was to remove KS, but she also had a second motion, which was to.
Now, the only motion that's been seconded is to rescind the December 10th motion to appoint KS as treasurer.
Okay,
That's
so
the
two
only
separate
motion.
motions, okay.
No, that's the only motion that's been seconded at this point. Was that all, that's everything that happened? Okay. Sir, yes, sir.
Direct comment at 660 Belgrove Lane. Like two comments. One, with regards to the review, it just seems like the review that's going on right now is to attack the whole board and point out every little single error. And if that's how the review's going to go, she should not be doing it because she's not independent.
Correct.
And then the second thing I have for you is some of the internal controls that she's proposing is you're going to make your controls so strenuous that you can't get done with any of your business. If she wants to review every single payment, regardless of the dollar amount, you know, and make sure the committee approves it. These committees only meet once a month, and I'm sure that the bills are due more than once a month. So just keep that in mind. And
Okay, those are good comments. Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am.
Could you please ask people to stand up?
Yeah, I'll try to do that, yeah, because not everybody's as loud as me. Anybody, yes ma'am, if you can stand up and just say your name so everybody knows that you.
Hi, my name is Lisa Santos. I live at 9230 Plantation Estates Drive. I just have a question. He's saying that bills are paid twice a month, and there's only one committee meeting. It just sounds as though everybody's attacking each other. I mean, when these things need to get done, I'm not saying that the old board was bad, the new board is bad, but there's so much tension that you can cut it in between. I mean, I understand that you're saying Jose would be better because he's a CPA, but were you an accountant?
No.
So your comment was it would be better for somebody who was an accountant, and you held that position. I just believe she should be given a chance. I mean, just like Palm Beach Broward or whoever's doing our lawn. We're giving them how long? 6 months? See what she can do. I believe she can do it. I just feel like there's, tension. And it's too bad that, you know, it would have been smarter to have Jose here.
He was invited.
Well,
Unavailable, so.
you know, I mean, you're asking somebody who isn't here, telling us that he would be better, which
Understood. Okay.
Doesn't make sense.
Thank you very much for your comment.
so.
Somebody, yes, sir.
Oscar Stavisky, 331 Mulberry. Two things I want to ask. Right now, when there's going to be an expenditure or need to write out checks, goes through the financial committee, committee approves or disapproves, and sends it to the management company, correct?
Is that a question to me?
Yeah.
Okay. What I can tell you is that the person that has the most knowledge about the check writing process and processing of checks and invoices is sitting right down there. Her name's
Okay,
Christine.
when something
So I'm
does
gonna ask,
occur.
so everybody has the
Hi,
right
Christine.
information.
Hi, Kristen.
We're gonna have Christine explain the process when an invoice hits her desk.
Right, when I get an invoice, before we used to do it twice a month, now I do it every week because we're such a big community, I get so many checks. So I get the invoices here, I get invoices at the services, I take them home, I sit and code them from where they're supposed to, the money is supposed to come from. Then I put the invoice plus the coding and plus check request, put them in and give them to my bookkeeper. She deals with it. She does the payables. Normally, once we have this check signing card, she will then send it electronically to me, to the treasurer, and to the president of the board. They'll go through them and see where to be coded to, what went wrong, why is it so high, why is it so low, why is that not so good, that seems excessively high this month. We paid that one before, you missed that, or you coded that wrong. We fix it, we send it back to the bookkeeper, they cut the checks, and they mail them.
So that means the checks and balances already in place.
The checks and balances?
There's checks and balances already in place.
There are, yes.
An awful lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Still get through.
the other one
They
is,
still get through it. There is
Right.
some, I mean, for example, there was, and I'll give an example because I think this is important. A vendor was asking for a final payment and there was not a lien release attached to it. I said, I need a lien release. I need the invoice. I need to see what amount is due. I need to see the backup. Before I'm going to sign the check, I need to see the backup. Christine provided me with the backup. Check got signed, vendor got paid. But that's the process. But it's 2 signatures, treasurer and president,
okay, and
weekly.
coming from a business background, I know that if something's bound to go wrong, it will go wrong, and you have to make a decision on the spot. You can't check everything and say, ooh, this is supposed to be done in such and such date. It's gotta be done now. So, why are we here?
Good question.
Okay.
This meeting was called because some of the board members asked me to call it, okay? The President has the ability to specially call a special meeting, that's why. But to answer your question, to the extent you were directing another question to me, sir, if I don't have the information that I need, I'm one of the two signers on a check, and the check doesn't get signed. Moving this way, yes, Dawn.
I get to go? Yeah. Hi, Dawn Prado, 268 Mulberry. Real quick, I've just jotted down notes as you're going along. First and foremost, thank you all for your time. I know firsthand how difficult it is being up there, and I know all the attacks, been through it for years, so, you know, I commend you all for being up there. Secondly, board of directors are expected to be under scrutiny. So some of the things you said, I agree, never bring family, children into it, but if it's public record, it's public record. It's not something that came from a board meeting, okay? So I understand that, I agree with that, but if it's public record, it's public. Secondly, and I don't believe in attacking people, I believe in being fair. Nothing personal against you, KS, I don't know you on a personal level, okay? So this is all based on information, based on business sense and business knowledge. So you all are held to a higher standard. You're now board of directors representing us, okay? You're responsible to us, the homeowners, not to each other. Any agreements made before, deals made before, game over. You're responsible to us, not to each other. So, you know, just because somebody went and got votes, or Eric got votes, or we got votes, doesn't matter. It's, you know, you guys are here now, you're responsible to the homeowners. The prior board did not have an accountant as a director. I wish we would have, because if had we, I would have insisted that the accountant be the treasurer. Jose Cabrera is an accountant. She's an auditor, that's fine. She can work with them, you know, work for the IRS, that's fine. But he is an accountant. He's been instrumental in the community, has volunteered many hours to the community. He has been on the finance committee, he has done a phenomenal job. All the committees have. So I feel that from a business standpoint, I've been in management for 25 years, that it's not a good business decision that you made by doing that. And again, no offense to you personally, I'm just saying that I strongly feel that Jose Cabrera should be the treasurer for the HOA. You should never have in-house accounting. I disagree with what KS said. Checks and balances are in place because you have a management company off-site. The minute you bring that in-house, you're going to open yourself up for the possibility of fraud. You should have a management company, absolutely, hands down. Error entries will happen. I don't care how many checks and balances you have in place. It happens. Data entry errors happen. You will send it to the bookkeeper, things will happen, but that's why you have the checks and balances. That's why you have the committee, so that when an error, a coding error happens, then you catch it and you correct it. It's very simple. So most of the stuff that she said really wasn't big issues. There's coding issues, it happens all the time. And then plus, you got to also consider that each accountant can have their different perception of how your finances should be coded. I mean, some of it is subjective, okay? So, you know, you could put your finances before 2 or 3 different accountants and they will have a disagreement. I got you, I know, I'm running out of time. The hard copy boxes, Christine went through and pulled 5 years worth of data for KS. It was not all on electronic format because there's personal information, there's attorney privilege, and they couldn't separate it. So they couldn't give it electronically because it couldn't be separated, okay? Without Christine printing it all out and going through it, we pulled 5 years worth of boxes, had an attorney sit there with her so she could go through anything she wanted. We just needed to make sure there wasn't any personal homeowner information there or any client privileged information. You had opportunity to go through anything you want, KS, so don't say nobody gave it to you. Christine spent days pulling all boxes out of storage. Anything you want. The HOA has always provided anything you want. However, we're not going to give you anything with anybody's phone numbers on it, any personal information for homeowners, etc. I don't want to use up too much time. We do have a reserve schedule. So there, you know, and the reserve, again, as Eric pointed out, right on the money. It's a guideline. Just as your budget that you do, it's a guideline. It's going to change. It's subjective. There's things that happen. So I'm done.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Carol Resnick, 8317 Butler Greenwood Drive. And I think that you need to replace her head